Mountain mama, take me home, that country road. Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. A way different rendition. A good one, though, I think. Every now and then we need to chat, and every now and then I get reminded of why I actually do this channel. This is the Rosecraft Blades Barlow. Now, if I tried to tell you the name of it, I think it's Beaver Creek. That might be wrong. But here's the deal about this knife. I seen it, and from the time I saw this knife, I loved it. There's a reason why. And I'm going to kind of tell you the story, or try to, and try not to make it long, and try to tie it in to the channel. When I was a boy, I grew up in Hazelhurst, Georgia. Now, I was born here in Jacksonville, and I love Jacksonville. I really do. Born on the west side and all that shit. But the truth is, my hometown is Hazelhurst, Georgia. That's where I grew up, and that's what I consider my hometown. My dad's a preacher, has been 55 years. I'm 52. And anybody that can be in it that long is the real deal. I'm just telling you, and I'm not going to go into that, but I have mad respect for my dad for a lot of reasons. But this story's not really about Dad. It's about a guy, James McLeod, who was a deacon at my dad's church in Hazelhurst. And you got to understand, I was born in 72, and growing up, you still said sir. Well, I called, you call everybody brother, Mr. Brother, whatever. So Brother James. My dad made $150 a week when he took that church. He was only 23 years old, and a lot of people told him not to take it. They'll run you off. Well, Dad's kind of like me and never really put a lot of stock into what people say. He took the church, and we showed up. He was 23, my mom 24, and I was 3. That's way young to take on that kind of responsibility, but those folks up there welcomed us in with open arms, took care of us, loved us from the moment we moved there till the day we left. But Brother James McLeod was an old World War II vet. Now back then, man, I was a kid, and the vets thing, my grandfather was in World War II, and that's what sparked my interest in not only World War II, but history. And Brother James had served with the 101st at Bastogne. In fact, he had lost hearing in his right ear from a German grenade. And he and my grandfather were great friends. The first pocket knife I was ever given was a Barlow knife. Now, that Barlow had white handle scales or pearl. Now we're talking 45 years ago, guys, but I remember it to this day because James McLeod was one of the best dudes ever. I love Brother James, loved him like a grandfather. I really did. First time I ever rode a horse was at his farm. And he would let my mom and dad come over, and we would eat with the McLeods, and he made sure we had plenty of fresh vegetables. He gave me the first knife I ever had. First one was a Barlow. So when I saw this knife, man, a bunch of memories come flooding back, because I'm going to tell you, as you get older and life happens and bills and shit, and just the stress of life, you forget a lot of things, right? When I saw this knife, it reminded me of Hazelhurst. It reminded me of home. It reminded me of an old man who was always very, very good to me. In fact, and this is the truth, I'm going to try to get through this part. The day James died, his son told me, his son's my dad's age, his son told me that I was the only person who came to see him that day that he was able to shake their hand. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget shaking Brother James's hand and saying goodbye. And he had reached out to shake my hand. So guys, There's a lot of knives that I do videos on because it's a knife and I need content, and that's what we do here. We're a knife channel. But then there are some knives that just mean more. They do, for a lot of reasons. For a lot of reasons. I don't know what it is about this knife, but I know this. I know why it matters so much, and it's not just my hometown, and it's not Brother James or really anybody else in Hazelhurst. It's that time. It was before, life hit. It's before all the addiction. It's before all the bullshit. And it reminds me of that, The reason that this particular brand matters, Rosecraft, and I told y'all this a couple weeks ago, the whole never quit quitting thing, that's not just something trendy I thought I'd come up with, or it's not just a saying. It means more to me than a few words can ever say, because here's the truth. I am an addict. I've fought it for years and years and years and years and years. A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that, 4 weeks ago, when the whole Joe X brouhaha blew up, and I made a video and I was angry. The only person in the knife community, in the knife world, a knife company that reached out to me and said, "Hey man, are you okay?" was Andy Armstrong. Now, that's not a shot at anybody else at all, because nobody would have known that. It's just Scab being Scab. It's just Scab blowing up. It's just Scab being an asshole, whatever, right? And I don't hold it against anybody. I can't make that clear enough. But Andy just said, "Hey man, just want to make sure you're okay. We got you back." So there's a lot of reasons that this knife means a lot to me. Those are two, and there are some more. Now, I have a lot of videos of this knife cutting. I think I titled the shorts "Things I Cut with My Barlow," and I'll put some in the description. I'm not going to do a full review on this knife. I'm just going to keep running that series, "Things I Cut with My Barlow." But the thing is, this knife also reminded me why I started this channel. Because I love knives, because I'm passionate about knives, yes. But it's also because of what they mean to me in my life. From the knife Brother James gave me, to the knife Papa Johnson gave me, to the knife my grandfather gave me, the only knife, to the 3 or 4 knives I have of my grandfather. I gave 2 to my son. I kept 2. I started this channel to share about knives. We've grown. I'm amazed, because we don't do anything right. We really don't. I shoot the videos on the phone. The sound's terrible. They're redundant, but you guys like them, and I'm appreciative. But at the end of the day, really, at the end of the day, this channel is about me showing and sharing my love of knives with you. That's what it's about. I can't speak for anybody else, and I'm not trying to. I say this a lot. When I do these videos, I'm only talking about me. And that's a fact. If anybody takes anything else out of that, that's you taking anything else out of that. That's not me. Yeah, I do this channel because I love knives, yeah, and I'm passionate about them, yeah. But there's a lot of emotion and a lot of nostalgia and a lot of peace and a lot of memories that I want to share. So, yeah, that's why I love this knife. Now, people, I've got a couple guys that, this knife's better, that knife's better. Okay, cool. I'll get one. What you talking about? I would caution you on that. See, from time to time, and it's my fault. It's not anybody. It's my fault because I don't explain a lot. I can't go through every video doing this, but this is a well-built knife. Now, I think, of course, they're out of stock and there's some seconds, but this knife isn't even really, I mean, this video is not even really about selling this knife, to be honest with you. It just means more. It's a great performer. It's proved that. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. I know it's different and people probably tuned out a while ago. That's fine. Listen, y'all have a great weekend. I love you. I'm Scab. You're not. We'll be back to regular programming this afternoon. Y'all have a good one. See if I can stick it.